Hello, welcome. I hope you're doing really well. It's the fourth dark and very cold month here, and I'm really starting to feel like I'm in a winter slump. I just don't have a lot of energy. I don't feel very excited to go out and do stuff. It's like I'm hibernating. And I thought, why not try and create that spring feeling for myself? Even though it's pretty much the middle of the winter outside, I think it's still possible to clean those mental cobwebs and make myself feel refreshed and recharged. So yeah, I planned some exciting things for this weekend and I'm taking you along with me. We are about to head out. As a homebody and someone who works from home, I tend to spend a lot of time at home, and I thought today we just need to get out of the house and enjoy this nice weather because it's a clear blue sky with sun. It's very cold, but I think with appropriate clothing it should be fine. And yeah, I wanted to try matcha. So Vince, my fiancé, suggested that we should go to this Japanese tea house where the tea is supposed to be very good. So yeah, let's go on a matcha date. So when I was going through different lists of how to overcome winter blues, a lot of them suggested to try out a new hobby. So that is actually what I'm trying this weekend. I decided to try crochet. The last time I tried crocheting was when I was like 10 or 11 years old. It was mandatory in my school. And I remember it was such a miserable experience. I just couldn't understand how it works and it was a mess. So after that, I did not want to try that for many years, right until now. But I don't know, I found a YouTube tutorial and I'm following it and I hope that this time will be much better. So let me show you the tutorial I'm following. It's this one. I am crocheting a jellyfish and I want to turn it into a keychain. Let me show you my progress. Ta-da! So that is how much I have so far. I have a whole, I don't know, it's head or body are like both. So yeah, I finished crocheting this bubble and I filled it in, so it's quite sturdy. And yeah, now I will have to make tentacles. When I picked this tutorial, I thought it will be very quick, like 1 or 2 days max, but I'm not sure anymore. I started crocheting yesterday evening and I had to restart it like from zero for like 10 times, maybe less, but it was a lot because it was so complicated. Like when you first start your project, your thingy is really small. You only have like this bit here and it was so hard recognizing the stitches and where to insert the hook and all of that. I'm a total beginner. I don't have experience, so yeah, it was something. So I spent my whole Friday evening just restarting and restarting. But today I feel a bit more confident. I crocheted the majority of it today actually, And yeah, I hope that it will get easier and easier with time. I'm not sure how easy it will be to make those tentacles because they look a little bit intimidating, but we will see. We will see. I hope for the best. I wanted to chat about the books, but first let's do the jellyfish update. So this is how it looks right now with all the tentacles. Luckily the tentacles were not too complicated to make. Now I think I only need to do the ruffles around here, and I also need a face. And I need to get a keychain itself because in the place where I bought the yarn and the hook, they did not have the keychain. So yeah, I will need to figure out where to get it from. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how it looks like finished. If I won't finish today, I will still show you the finished project, so don't worry. And yeah, when it comes to books, I recently finished reading The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. It is quite a popular romantasy series, and I picked it because I wanted something light, not too complicated, and hopefully fast-paced. And I think this book was a good choice. If you like knowing tropes, then this book would be Arranged Marriage and the Enemies to Lovers one. I really like the whole idea of a huge bridge connecting islands that the kingdom consists of. And I especially like the jungle setup. I find it quite unique in fantasy. I only wish it was used even more. I feel like the jungle was pretty basic in this book. And you know, in fantasy you can use all kinds of cool monsters and like dangers lurking behind those leaves. So yeah, I wanted more of the jungle. I like the characters. I liked seeing how they try to outmaneuver each other. However, their romance line was slow, and not in a slow burn way, but just slow, unfortunately. I feel like with the setup, with them being mortal enemies forced into this political marriage, it could have been so cool seeing them at war with themselves because they were taught to hate each other and now they find each other attractive. I think the tension would have been really cool. But in this case, even though the characters did find each other attractive, it was more on a level of like, oh, she's so beautiful, or oh, he's so handsome. But there were no small yet super specific details that only a really interested person would notice about the other. And yeah, I felt like they went from being enemies to being friends or allies, and then to being this old married couple. They were not bickering, but I don't know, I just feel like they missed the passion phase where they can't get enough of each other and all of that. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed, honestly. This is not the first book of this author that I have read. I've also read A Fating in Blood, and even though the plot of that book was definitely not perfect, the slow burn was really good. And so I was expecting something similar here. And unfortunately, that was not the case for me. But besides that, it was a very enjoyable read up until 70 or 80% mark. I can't remember exactly, but around there, the politics started, and I am not a huge fan of politics in fantasy. Usually, I just find it a bit boring. The only book that managed to make politics really interesting was Reign and Ruin. Well, at least for me. But this was not the case. I'm currently reading the second book in this series, The Traitor Queen. and I'm at around 50%. But honestly, I started this book because it's already familiar and cozy enough while I wait for some really exciting new releases. Next week, the third book of Emily Wilde series is coming out, and I'm really excited about it. I'm just really curious to see what size the book will be. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so this is book 1, and then this is book 2. And you can see that the height difference is huge. And at first I wondered maybe I picked different editions, but as you can see, like, the publishing houses are the same. And I checked everywhere and it just looks like they released books in different heights. And honestly, I'm just really curious to see what height will the third book be. Now I want to make a memory spread in my memory journal. If you haven't seen my previous video or any of my planning videos, then this is what I use for memory keeping. And I recently started making these scrapbook style memory spreads. So this is the last week's spread. I just do these collages with journaling parts to record my memories. And I want to make something like this for this week too. So yeah, let's have a cozy journaling session. I have already divided my pages into smaller squares, and I also have all of my pictures printed. So I will probably play with the layout for a while, and I will come back and I will show you the finished spread and explain everything once I'm done. So this is the finished spread. I started it with the monthly calendar, and it's the same one I used in my last week's spread. I thought I would just create one calendar for the month and reuse it in all the weekly spreads so that I would have one consistent element. Then this sticker looks like a mere decoration, but it actually has a purpose. We finally have proper winter here with snow, and it's really cold, so that's what it symbolizes. Then this picture is from Pinterest. It shows that I went to a skincare specialist. She cleaned my face and she did some hydrating procedures, and she also created a whole new skincare routine for me, which is based on my skin type and the problems that I have. So I'm really excited to give it a go and see if there will be like visible results. I'm currently reading The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and the idea of this book is that every person is creative and we just need to find a way to access that creativity. She suggests to do 2 things. One is writing morning pages every morning, and the second one is taking yourself out on a date once a week. So yeah, I'm trying to follow that, and I'm curious to see what will happen. We were watching this series. Well, this one is like a movie, but now we're watching Kunk on Earth, which is series on Netflix. And in the series, the comedian is making a documentary. So yeah, it's definitely not for everyone, but I find it entertaining. Then here I wanted to record that I started crocheting, and this is the tutorial that I'm following. And finally, our matcha date that you already saw. So yeah, that is my week, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. I really like this light blue theme that happened here. And yeah, I'm just really excited to have more of these, especially when the month changes and I will have different themes going on. So yeah, so far it's working. And I'm actually really excited for the next week's spread. I finished my jellyfish, and look at this little guy. How cute is that? I absolutely love how this turned out. I think it was a great first crochet project. The beginning was definitely the most complicated part. After that it was easier. So if you're curious to give it a go, I will leave the link to the tutorial I was following in the description box down below. And I think I will leave this video here. Hopefully it was inspiring in some way, whether to plan something really nice for your own weekend or perhaps to try out a new hobby. Have a lovely week and I will see you in my next video. Bye!